All right, guys, so welcome to Momentum Monday once again. I am super excited to introduce a dear friend of mine tonight, and I will not take very much time at all in the beginning of this call. I get to introduce Jill Charrois. Those of you who know her know the huge heart that she wears on her sleeve. She is one of the best huggers in the entire world. She listens to you like she means it. She genuinely cares about so many people. When she walks into a room, it lights up. She's made so many connections with so many of you, which really is a true testament to her character because she is an incredible woman. And she has figured out how to use all of those skills in order to build her business. I love that Jill Charrois is a QNMD, strong QNMD business working towards NMD. And she really did get there without a lot of help from social media. Not saying she doesn't use it, but a lot of the work she does is one-on-ones, coffees and play dates and, campfires in the backyard and just connecting with people on a heart-to-heart level. And so she's going to share with us a little bit of her story tonight and a little bit about how she's been able to use those skills to build her business. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jill begin to share the story. Jill, are you with us?
Sorry, I had to find my mouse.
Okay, there.
Okay, and you had said did you want me to share any of my story, like my personal story at all?
Yeah, well, yeah, if you want to, go ahead and share. Yeah.
Okay, no, just with your message, so I wasn't sure if I should even bother or what, but I always, some people have already heard this before, but the reason why I started this business was pretty much for a discount. And first of all, thank you, Michelle, for having me on here. I was actually getting nervous because some people had commented on your post, and I was just so honored. And I'm like, oh my gosh! And then you really want to present something that can impact people and give people something to walk away with. So I hope I do that tonight. I've had a lot of things come to my mind, and so I'm just going to let it flow. I did make a few notes because I can get talking. So I'll try to keep it concise for you guys. But so yeah, when I did start, it was 3 years ago. And I started the business because I wanted the discount, and Juice Plus totally made sense to me. And I'd already done a couple different multi-level marketing companies. And I didn't try a whole ton. It was just something I liked, and may as well get a discount. So I started the Juice Plus business, but I honestly did not expect to ever get to an NMD level. I thought, I'll just sit at the bottom and that's all I'll ever do, because that's what I had experienced in other companies. Didn't matter if I had a team, didn't matter how hard I worked. And so fast forward, here I am as a QNMD, and that's something I did not ever expect. But those of you that have been in the business, I think you know what this opportunity, what this business can really bring us. But what I want to close with later is just how important it is to really, I guess, plug in. We don't know what we don't know. And so even starting this, I had no idea, right? I just knew I loved this product and what I'd heard, but I had no idea what this business could bring my life until I said yes to things and showed up. And unless we are open to saying yes to things and doing things, you'll never change, you'll never grow, you'll never learn, you'll never get these opportunities that come, right? Because if we just stay in our comfort zones, I'm sure many of you have seen that little graphic where it's our comfort zone, and then outside of that is where the magic happens, and it truly is, because if you can get out of that comfort zone, amazing things can happen. So anyways, I really started to embrace the business, and that's why I'm here today. Never thought I'd be on Zoom calls, never thought I'd be sitting in front of, I don't know how many people are on this call. But yeah, so that's a little bit of my story, my business story anyways. I'm not going to get into product detail, but anyway, so Michelle had asked me just to kind of give examples even of how I got some of my frontliners to sign up. And one of my lines is Carmen Jubenville, and she's a total boss babe. And the first time I ever met her, we actually share a sister-in-law. So she was somebody, that's how I met her, and this was years ago. And she was just a ball of energy, super fun, just was man, I like her. And we're 10 years apart. So at that time, I don't know, I was probably 20 something, and she was just above in her 30s or whatever, but she was drinking wine, and she actually totally introduced me to wine, because I was I don't like wine. In your early 20s, I was what is this? So she actually gave me a sweeter wine, and long story short, always just loved her and her energy. And anyways, and then as knowing her over the years, she ended up being a life coach. She ran her own business, and every time we would see each other at birthdays and stuff, I was man, I just love this chick. She's just super cool and somebody I want to spend more time with. And I'm sure many of you have heard, you know, the saying that, you know, you're the average of the 5 people you spend your time with, or you are who you hang out with. So I've always, you know, admired, like anybody I've admired, I've obviously wanted to spend more time with. And I also think that's another thing with Team Synergy. I think we're really blessed, you guys, to be on Team Synergy. Because again, in my previous experience in other companies, I never had what I have with Team Synergy. I never had the sideline friends. I never had the uplines. Even outside of Team Synergy, I mean, Juice Plus is amazing, but I really do think we are really lucky to have the leaders that we do in Team Synergy, because I think that's what can really create a beautiful community. And that's something I want in my life, and why I'm so passionate about this business. So anyways, with Carmen, I ended up, I knew so once I got into the business, I knew she was somebody, like once I started realizing that, holy crap, I could do something with this business and I need to start talking about it, because in the beginning I didn't talk about business, because I was like, nobody's going to want to like do this, because nobody ever wanted to do anything I did in the past. But it was like selling things, right? Like it was more product driven and inventory and stuff like that, right? Whereas Juice Plus is totally opposite, and I can get into a whole nother conversation on that. But to sum it up, it was something that I realized, this is so easy. And the only reason why it's easy is because it's something that I've learned that it's changing lives. Like I had people thanking me, you know, for being on the product, and the excitement that I was, you know, that I had for myself. And, you know, what have you been up to? And you look like you're having so much fun. And, you know, and so like Michelle said, I'm not a big poster on Facebook, but I will say I do like being tagged in things. Because, you know, when you are tagged, people are still seeing what you're doing. The only downfall with that is people won't comment. So even when I went to the Eltons this past month here, I never posted a picture of myself, but I could tell you the people that came up to me and said, you look awesome. And I'm like, really? Like I didn't even see any comments, but it's most likely because it wasn't my picture, right? People are kind of weirded out because it's like somebody else's post. But anyway, so I know I need to get better on that. But anyways, with Carmen, it was something that I knew I didn't want to just message her on Facebook. And I don't know if that's just because of the 10 years. She was very smart, very like intelligent woman. And I guess part of me, you know, that can be, what's the word? Intimidating, right? Because it's just like, I don't want to be this like ding dong that's like, oh, hey, like I got this business, you know. I really wanted her to hear my heart. And I think that's the thing with posting, is that people, it's no different than the Eltons. Like I was saying, I could post the videos, I could post even the pictures, and nobody will know what it truly feels like to be there, except for those people that were with you. You know, it's just, you can't put, like, I mean, pictures can really capture, I think, but there's nothing like feeling it, right? And that's where later I'll get to, you know, events and things, because we can talk about how important they are and how amazing conference can be for you, and people can share their takeaways, but once you feel it, that's what's going to really build your belief. And so for me, sharing this with Carmen, it wasn't something I just wanted to write, because I just thought, like, you know, when you read something, you don't hear somebody's heart, right? So you could have a paragraph right now that I could share and that Michelle could share, and I might impact you in a different way that Michelle might, right? So for me, it was like, I just wanted to be in a room with her. So anyways, I ended up getting my chance at a birthday. And I went in there, you know, hoping that could happen, but it wasn't like, okay, you know, like, because a lot of people will be like, you know, obviously you want to bring up Juice Plus, but if you go in just thinking that's all I want to talk about, then it's almost unnatural, right? So I just let the conversation flow. And I mean, I have to give it to my mother-in-law. She was actually the one that was like, oh, hey, Carmen, have you heard about Juice Plus? And I was like, yes, yes. So she just, like, we ended up just talking, whatever. And then in Carmen's words too, because when she shares her personal story, she says, literally, we probably sat on that couch the whole afternoon, and, like, you know, it was like we were the only two in the room, but we talked about life. We talked about, you know, everything, like just real stuff, not just Juice Plus, but Juice Plus came out of that because she was sharing about her life and like how her life coaching was going and how she was considering a second job, and just, you know, kind of being almost drained from that, and, you know, just looking for something more, but, you know, she didn't want to just be into something just to make an income, right? So it was like, oh my gosh, like, right up her alley. Plus she was, you know, really into health and stuff. So long story short, we had a great talk, but we left it at that. And it was, I don't know if it was a couple days later or whatever, but we had a Boss Babes event coming up, and I remember doing my makeup, and I was like, okay, Jill, you gotta get your shit together. You gotta message her. And I literally was doing my mascara, and I was like, okay, screw it. Like, draw my makeup, ran to my phone, and I did at that time text her, because I don't know if we did much voice messaging at that time, because now I'll do a lot of voice notes, because that's like, again, they can hear my heart and hear my voice. But I did type it out. And then I just said it like was. I was like, honestly, I just stopped what I was doing. And yeah, I don't know, I have to even look back, but I know like anything that I write is just, I just like was totally honest and just said like, I feel like I'm totally, you know, like this is like going out on a whim, but you know, like, would you come with me to this Boss Babes event? I think it'd be so much fun, and just for like a really great opportunity for you to check out. And I'd love for, you know, for you to come with. Story, she always says that she couldn't believe she said yes, but she did. And she's like, I don't know why I did. She's like, but I did. And I even she's like, I second guessed myself even after, like, why did I say yes? So, you know, divine timing, right? But anyway, she showed up, and it's crazy too, because when she showed up, she ended up, I think, taking her husband's keys with her or something. So she ended up having to go home to drop them off. And I was like, oh no, I'm like, now, like, she's not going to come back, because it's going to be like, well, you know, sorry, like this didn't work out. But she walked back just in time to hear Michelle and Sandy speak. And in her words too, like her story, she said like it was a totally changing moment for her. And she was like, wow, this is something pretty amazing. So again, I could talk all I wanted about what I felt. And obviously my enthusiasm really attracted her. But by her showing up there and feeling what I felt in her own way is what really got her. That's what got her to be like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. I get what you're saying, right? So she, yeah, to this day is one of my strongest lines. Love working with her. And I don't know, I look back at that and I think like, holy crap, like, so you always got to remember that, like, you never know who your next person's going to be, but it's like, it's so important to be able to show them in different ways. And some people are going to take longer than others. Some people are going to take, you know, multiple exposures kind of thing. But I know for me, it was just like, there's nothing like a one-to-one, right? Because that's where you really get to bond and where you really get to share your true heart, and people really get to see that, right? So she's an example anyways of one of my uplines. And yeah, and so like Michelle was asking like how I bring it up in conversation. And again, it's not something that it's like I'm sitting there thinking like, okay, when can I bring it up? When can I bring it up? It's like it just magically comes about, because when you're having a conversation, a heart-centered conversation, and you truly care about somebody, they're going to be sharing things with you, you know, whether it is their health or whether it's just life and like how much, I don't know, fun or they're enjoying this course they're taking or whatever. And then you can relate and be like, oh, me too. And, you know, there's nothing like this or that. And then all of a sudden, you know, next thing you know, it's like, yeah, you know, like, I love how much I travel in my Juice Plus, you know, or nowadays, like, and I never used to. And they might say like, oh, and why is that? Or I might have just said because of my business. And they're like, well, what business is that? Or like, there's just, I could go on about how many ways it can come up. But when you are truly just in a conversation and really, like I said, coming from that place of like you genuinely care, like to ask. I know Sandy's always the one that has like great questions like, oh, what's your love story? And where's this? And you know, what's that? And that comes naturally to me because I do care. I'm like, how long have you been doing that job for? And like, what made you get into that? And like, you know, what parts do you love about it? And because I want to know, like, I always think I'm the type of person, if somebody's talking about something and I hear them saying like, oh yeah, I know, it's the best. I'm like, excuse me, do you mind if I ask like what you guys are talking about? Because it's like, you never know, right? Like can that benefit me, right? Like I want to know what's so good, right? Like we all want good in life, right? And Michelle always uses the word like connectors, and I've always been a connector because yeah, like we want good things, right? It's no different than this product. Like everybody wants to be healthy. So it's like, this is a perfect thing to share with people, right? And it's like, we see a good movie. It's like, you gotta see that movie. But of course, I mean, just like a movie too, like what I get from it is gonna be something different than what you get from it, right? But it's like, you don't know if you don't try, but by connecting and sharing recipes, all these great things in life, right? And I'm always open to it because you don't know how it's gonna affect you. So like I said, from a recipe to a movie to a product, whatever. Where else am I going with this? And then I guess she also asked if someone asked me what I do, how do I answer that? Honestly, it's like per person. I don't have like a one-liner that I'm like, oh yeah, every time I say it. When I was going to conference this year, I was in a shuttle with an older lady and her daughter. So the older lady, like the younger daughter probably could have been my mom, and then her mom. So she was, fairly up there in age. And she was more into talking to me than the daughter. The daughter was kind of doing the like enough. And anyways, but the older lady's like, I'm asking like, where are you guys going? And they were going on a cruise together as mom and daughter. And oh, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm going to Indianapolis for a concert or a conference. And they're like, oh, she's like, oh, that's fun. She's like, oh, I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait. Like it's gonna be a blast kind of thing. And she's like, well, yeah, she's like, I wish I did what you did or something like that or whatever, or that, yeah, it was something, I can't remember, sorry, exactly what it was, but it was totally the like in of being like, yeah, it is amazing. And I love what I do. And anybody can do it, I said. And all it is I said the funny thing, and like I just said it like that, I'm like, the funny thing is it's just fruits and vegetables in a capsule. Sounds crazy, right? Like, and like I just called it like that. And I said, but honestly, it's like changing lives, because you look at our products nowadays, and all the uprise of diseases, and I just summed it up like that. I said, but it's put into a capsule form. So I said, just from that, like, a lot of really crazy things can happen. But I said, not only the product is amazing, like the business is amazing. And I'm not saying exactly how I said it, but that's like how I felt, right? It was just like, and then the business has been, done so many great things in my life. And yeah, I'm a better person from both of them. And I get to do things like this, like go to conference and fill up my cup kind of thing. And anyway, just kind of talking like that. And honestly, by the end, she's like, wow, like she was literally like just so engaged. And she was like, that really does sound amazing. But that comes from, that's my truth. That's truly how I feel about it. But why do I feel that way? Is because I've gone to events. I go to events even if I don't have team, even if I don't have prospects or anybody coming with me, because I do it for myself. I know that for when I go to these things, that what I'm going to come home with, and maybe that's new friendship sidelines. Maybe it's just somebody's story that I've heard for the 10th time, but it might impact me different. Cindy Brill's story this week, I've heard Cindy many times, but her story moved me like the most it ever has this last weekend. And sometimes it's just those certain things we need to hear at the right time or at certain times. So yeah, it's just like, I can't say enough, by plugging in is, what's really gonna help you be confident and in like pretty much like exuding that, right? Because it's just like your passion is shining and people will totally catch that. It's like your enthusiasm is contagious, totally contagious. I think, and then Michelle just said like how I make people feel valued, and when I ask them to join my team or their product. So same thing, like I have other people that are on my team that love the product, but again, it was just like, even if they aren't like super hardcore in their business, they're just at the BF or not, I shouldn't say just, they're a BF and they're happy there. A lot of times, just with a couple of those girls, it was like just listening again, like whether it was like financially they could use something, but also health wise, and just saying like, hey, like I can't help but like hear that you guys could use an extra income. This is what's really worked for me, and I honestly didn't expect it to do what it was going to do. And here I am with like a second income, and maybe that's $500, or maybe it's $1,000 to you, like whatever it is to alleviate costs. But it's really, like I said, I can't say enough, just like listening to somebody and what they need, and then being able to kind of give them a solution in whatever they're saying. But it really takes listening to people, and not just having that like, oh, I'm going to nail them with Juice Plus. It's like just really caring and saying, hey, this could be for you. And I would love for you to be, this could be for you, but if you'd be open to checking it out, kind of thing. I'm just going to read my notes here quick. Another thing too, even with my trips, like there was a girl that's like a local lady from town, and it was just like one night we were stopping off at our in-laws, and my husband had to, it was something with the side-by-side. Anyways, I was in the truck with the girls, and then the neighbors were actually across the street. They came over to help my husband. It was actually to load his sled deck off. Anyways, it took some men, they did it. So I ended up talking to the wife, and we just got into saying like, how's life? And I'm like, oh, good, and then I get into saying, yeah, I'm going actually to Indianapolis the next week. And it's like, oh, what's that for? And then just kind of share again about like how it's been so amazing, and how like, yeah, I actually went to St. Louis last year, and I went to California this year, vegetarian. Like, never thought I would be doing this kind of stuff. And then I just got into like how amazing it is and how, you know, the inspiration, the positivity, the personal growth I've had, like all the really positive things. And again, that enthusiasm was contagious. And by the end of it, she's like, wow, I really need to look into this Juice Plus. So just from that, like, didn't go in thinking we are going to talk about that, but hey, just got talking. And next thing you know, she's like, I really need more information. When I invite to Prevention Pluses, same thing. Like, I tell people, like, I wouldn't waste your time. And I would go to these alone, even if I didn't have a guest. And just saying it like that, like, honestly, like, this could only benefit you. And I think I pretty much nailed it all. I feel like I'm repeating myself. And these Zooms, the only thing with the Zoom is just like, nope, you can't hear feedback. So you're just like, okay, I'm just like talking.
Oh my gosh, Jill, that was absolutely incredible. Thank you for so many like real specific examples. I loved your verbiage about, I love these so much, I would go alone. I just thought I would ask you because you'll love it too. Like, that's huge. And I think that your enthusiasm is so contagious. Like they say, what I can't remember exactly what the saying is, but basically passion on fire, like, is so much more valuable than having all this knowledge on ice, I think is really what it is. Like, you don't have to wait until you know everything or you're perfect at everything or whatever. But like Jill said, going to events builds up your belief. And I know Jill and I were talking earlier and she was saying, like, my belief in those areas, the product, the business, the marketing plan, the industry of network marketing, they're all rock solid. So like, when I'm talking to people, I'm really being honest, like, you know, and that comes through, Jill, in how you share. And I just wanted to share this because I got this little Christmas card from Jill, and she's a busy mama, you guys. Like, she has a lot on the go. She's got 3 little girls and she's cooking a 4th one in there right now. And so she's like doing this alongside her life, and it fits so beautifully in life when you do it in the one-on-ones and those opportunities that, you know, that divine situation presented to us. And, you know, I don't know what everybody believes on the call. I think everybody has different belief systems, whatever it is. That person and that moment have been put in front of you for a reason. And so many times we feel it, and then we don't take that 3 seconds of courage and we just let it go. And then afterwards we think, oh my gosh, I wish I would have said something. And here's the thing, guys, you cannot say the wrong thing to the right person. And you can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So if you're like passion on fire and the person's not going for it, that's not the timing for them. And no matter who was in front of them, it wouldn't have worked. Even if I got in front of them with all the science knowledge, they might have been scared into ordering, but they would cancel. Do you catch what I'm saying? Like, if they're ready and the timing's right, no matter what comes out of your heart will be the right thing. So just like trust that whatever you're saying is right. And if you're nervous, that's right too. Like, the person will be like, it's okay, don't be nervous. I love that you believe in this so much. And that will be a right part of the moment as well. And I really loved what Jill said about not getting attached to the outcome. We don't go into these conversations thinking, I'm going to get a customer, I'm going to get a distributor. And if you are, that's probably why you're not bringing it up, right? Like, you're like, oh, here comes the moment, but I don't want to fail, so I'm just not going to say anything, right? Whereas if you're just like, oh, here comes the moment, I'm going to share it. I don't care if they sign up or not. It doesn't matter. I just want to share it because I care about them. And that's the difference between people who are good at one-on-ones and not. Now, you guys can all tell by listening to Jill that she's a natural extrovert. She is a lover of people. Like, if she could go into a room of 100 people, that would be her happiest place. And that's where she would go to recharge. And, you know, so not everyone's going to be naturally extroverted like that. But I really want to draw to your awareness that you don't have to be. All it really takes is a caring heart and that 3 seconds of courage to just say, you know, I don't know if what I do would be of interest to you, but I sure love it. And it's sure amazing. And be confident to share your love of it and your passion for it. Because even if you're not going to share it in exactly the same bubbly way that Jill would, the way that you're going to share it is going to be right for your friend because they know who you are as you are. So I've heard Jill say this many times before, just be yourself. And that's why she always hesitates to do this training, because she says, I don't know how to train this because I just be myself. So I think what really I've learned from this call is Jill's being herself, but she's also taking the 3 seconds of courage. She's detaching from the outcome. She's not worried about what they're going to say, yes or no, or whether they're going to do it now or later. It doesn't matter to her. She's talking about her life, her travel, her engagement with conferences, the things that she's going to. If you're not going to events, then what are you going to be talking about with people? What's going to be your in, right? So you have to be attending those events, even if they're just online. Be like, wow, I was on this amazing online event last night. Like, I can't believe, that we're only eating 11 pounds of fruits and vegetables compared to our grandparents were eating 150 pounds of fruits and vegetables. Like, that's an interesting topic that you could talk about. And they'll be like, where did you learn that? What event were you on? Do you see what I'm saying? Keep yourself plugged in and continue to have knowledge and exciting information to share with people, because not everybody wants to just talk about the negative humdrum of life. They like being around positive people who have something that they're inspired about in their life and they're passionate about. And it really is contagious to be near that energy. And I watch it, like, Kelly's had several friends of his that have never met me that say, will it be weird if I just friend Michelle on Facebook? And they're not interested in Juice Plus. They don't know what I do, but for some reason they're just attracted to the energy of my social media feed. But that's what we have to offer, guys. We have team synergy, as Jill mentioned. We have this positive community. We have a group of people that's encouraging each other to grow, be better, get better, be positive, be that lighthouse in the storm. And other people want that. So the more that we share from our heart what we're passionate about, whether it's, who cares if it's your paycheck? I mean, if you got $800 before Christmas and that changed your life, you should share that. You should be proud of that. If it was in your store that you had a storefront for that sold, yoga apparel, you would be proud to share you had a good month, right? And it's no different than what we have. We just happen to do it from home. So root into that belief around the product, that belief around the business, that belief around our amazing company that's been around for 40 some years, product's been around for 20 some years, research galore on this product. Reach down deep into that belief around network marketing, you guys. This is a better way. It is. And I always say you just need to find the product that aligns with your morals and values. And for everyone on this call here tonight, I know I'm preaching to the choir when I say, Juice Plus is right here where it hits home for us. And that's why we're sharing it with other people. So all you need to do is deepen your belief in network marketing. If you haven't recently listened to GoPro, I would encourage you to take a listen again. You can find it for free on YouTube, or you can get the audio so you can listen without Wi-Fi while you're driving. Track 7 is my favorite. I'm not exactly sure which chapter it is, but it's on inviting. There's so many amazing takeaways. Every time I listen to that book, I take away something new. Deepen that belief in network marketing, you guys. We should be loud and proud about what we have to offer. Listen, we are offering people more time with their families. And if that isn't the most important thing in this planet, then I don't know what it is. Because this right here, that is why Jill does it. This is why she shares with people. This is why she went out of her comfort zone to share with her friend Carmen, who she felt was, heads and shoulders more boss babe than her. And that is the why that drives her to spend more time with those little ones and have bigger experiences with them, spend more time on the boat and do all the things that matter to them. And I know Jill personally, and I know she loves her man just as much as she loves those kids. And that's her why. You guys, this is what we have to offer people. And we should never for 1 minute be embarrassed of that. Go out and start being loud and proud. Share your enthusiasm and stay detached from the outcome. And remember, we do have something we're sharing. So with that, I'm going to end it, and you guys can all give your big shout outs to Jill, who did absolutely incredible tonight.